charging handle. Oh. can shoot him.
Motherfucker.
Nuts.
quite the mess.
shoot me, but I can shoot him.
Motherfucker.
Nuts.
Fools, he didn't shoot.
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the stylish, bullet-ridden odyssey that is John Wick. Chapter 4. Get ready for more Keanu Reeves looking perpetually exasperated, more dog loyalty, and enough headshots to make a marksman blush. We'll break down every glorious, bone-crunching moment, from the high table's relentless pursuit to John's desperate bid for freedom. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more. Our story kicks off with John Wick, still very much alive, though probably wishing he wasn't after the events of Chapter 3. He's recuperating in the Moroccan desert, pounding a wooden post like it personally insulted his dog. He's got a fresh pair of broken hands, but a familiar glint in his eye, which I'm pretty sure means more trouble coming. He's been taken in by the Bowery King, who's also not having a great time, sporting his own battle scars. They discuss the High Table, that shadowy organization that makes your tax agency look like a friendly neighborhood knitting club. John's objective? To find the Elder, the mysterious figurehead of the High Table, and demand answers. John, ever the man of few words, actually bothers to speak a few before promptly dispatching the Elder. Turns out, this Elder is a replacement for the one he met last time. The rules are clear. If you kill an Elder, the High Table is coming for you with everything they've got. This isn't just about John anymore. It's about making a statement against the seemingly untouchable authority. Our boy John, however, just shrugs it off. He makes it clear that he's going to kill them all, proving that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective, especially when you have John Wick's particular set of skills. This act officially kickstarts the High Table's full-scale manhunt, setting the stage for what can only be described as a global rampage. The stakes are higher than ever, and John is, well, John, he doesn't back down. He doesn't surrender. He just keeps going, a veritable one-man apocalypse in a tailored suit. The clang of the knife hitting the sand echoes the death knell of the High Table's complacency. Enter the Marquis de Gramont, a fresh-faced, impeccably tailored, and utterly ruthless High Table operative. He's been granted carte blanche to deal with John Wick, which in High Table speak means go wild. Consequences later, his first order of business: shutting down the New York Continental, a place that's practically John's second home. He revokes Winston's management and blows the place up for good measure. Ouch. This guy means business. Winston is then stripped of his duties, and the hotel is turned into rubble, a devastating blow to the old guard and a clear message: the High Table is not messing around. This seismic shift in power demonstrates the Marquis' complete disregard for established traditions and alliances. The booming sound of explosions as the Continental crumbles is a visceral reminder of his ruthless efficiency, and a stark warning to anyone thinking of defying him. John Wick, ever the globetrotter, heads to the Osaka Continental, seeking refuge with his old friend Shimazu Koji, the hotel manager. Shimazu's daughter, Akira, the concierge, is a formidable warrior in her own right. But the Marquis is fast. He sends his top assassin, Shidi, and a small army to the Osaka Continental. The hotel becomes a stunning battlefield. The sound of shattered glass and rapid gunfire fills the air as ninjas and samurai-trained assassins face off against High Table enforcers. It's a symphony of steel, blood, and broken furniture. John fights alongside Shimazu and Akira, showcasing their combined prowess in a series of breathtaking sequences. Akira's agility with her knives is something to behold, a blur of motion and precision. Shimazu, wielding a katana, moves with the grace of a seasoned master, each parry and thrust a dance of death. This is less a fight and more an elaborate, deadly ballet, a testament to the old-world assassins' commitment to their craft, even in the face of overwhelming modern firepower during the chaotic siege. We're introduced to Kane, a blind High Table assassin, and another old friend of John's. The Marquis has forced Kane back into service by threatening his daughter. Giving him no choice but to hunt John, Kane confronts Shimazu, and in a heartbreaking exchange, the two old friends are forced to fight. Kane, despite his blindness, is incredibly agile and lethal. The metallic clang of their swords rings through the hallowed halls as Kane tragically kills Shimazu, much to Akira's despair. John, seeing Akira's pain, promises her that if she wants to seek revenge on Kane, he will step aside. It's a somber moment amidst the relentless action, a reminder of the personal cost of this war against the High Table. The quiet thud of Shimazu's body hitting the ground is deafening, a poignant counterpoint to the earlier cacophony of battle. Leaving a profound sense of loss and a burning desire for retribution in its wake, John and Akira manage to escape the burning ruins of the Osaka Continental, leaving a trail of High Table bodies in their wake. The High Table's forces are relentless, but John, with Akira's help, navigates the crumbling infrastructure with surprising ease. He performs a truly spectacular slide down a glass ramp, firing off headshots with casual indifference, which honestly is just peak John Wick. It's almost like he knows exactly where everyone is, even when gravity is doing its best to disorient him. Akira provides crucial backup, her arrows finding their marks with deadly accuracy. The sound of broken glass crunching underfoot and the rhythmic thud of bodies hitting the ground underscore the brutal efficiency of their escape. They exit into the bustling streets of Osaka, leaving the devastation behind, but with the chilling knowledge that the chase is far from over. This city, once a sanctuary, is now just another battlefield in John's endless war. We're introduced to a new player in John's saga, the Tracker. Also known as Mr. Nobody, he's a bounty hunter who prefers to let his highly trained, bulletproof German Shepherd do most of the heavy lifting. This dog is not just a pet. It's a weapon, a shield, and probably a very good boy. Mr. Nobody follows John, observing his movements, but not yet engaging directly. He's strategic, patient, and seems more interested in the bounty's value than the kill itself. His dog's low growl and the subtle jingle of its chain are often the only warnings before chaos erupts. He's got his own code, making him a fascinating wild card in this deadly game. His presence adds another layer of complexity to John's already convoluted life, because who needs a clear path when you can have multiple assassins with dogs on your tail? It's like a really dangerous scavenger hunt, but with more biting and less actual treasure. Unless you count surviving as a prize, John travels to Berlin to deal with Killa Harkin, a High Table member responsible for a lot of John's current headaches. Killer runs a massive, ridiculously opulent nightclub that features a waterfall and probably some really overpriced drinks. This club, naturally, becomes another elaborate arena for John to demonstrate his unique brand of problem solving. It's a glorious, neon-drenched bloodbath, with the thump of techno music providing a rhythmic backdrop to every punch and gunshot. The crack of skulls against reinforced concrete, the metallic slide of a knife, and the explosive boom of close-range shotgun blasts mix with the club's pulsing beat. John navigates the crowded dance floor, turning ordinary partygoers into human shields and inconvenient obstacles. Kane and Mr. Nobody are also in attendance, each pursuing their own agenda. It's a chaotic free-for-all, a testament to the fact that wherever John Wick goes, a good time for us, not for the High Table, is practically guaranteed. Asterisk, after a grueling fight through the multi-level club, John finally corners Killa Harkin. Killa, a large and surprisingly resilient man, puts up a good fight, but ultimately, he's no match for John. John, in a moment of pure Wickian efficiency, kicks Killa over a balcony, sending him crashing to his doom. The resounding thud of Killa's body hitting the floor below is a satisfying punctuation mark to the mayhem. This wasn't just about eliminating a target, it was about sending a message. The bounty on John's head significantly increases after this, which, let's be honest, is practically John's love language. This escalation means more assassins, more challenges, and more opportunities for John to showcase his unparalleled combat skills. It's a deadly cycle, but John seems almost comfortable in it. A true warrior forged in the fires of endless conflict. The crowd's panic screams mix with the triumphant beat of the club music, creating a surreal soundscape of victory and terror. Seeking a way out of his predicament, John visits the head of the Ruska Roma crime family, his adopted family. He wants to rejoin their ranks, a move that would provide him with protection from the High Table, but it comes at a cost. He needs to repledge his fealty, which involves a brutal ritual of marking his body. It's a painful but necessary step, a literal cutting ties with his old life and embracing the one he left behind. The sting of the knife and the flow of blood are a visceral reminder of the sacrifices he's willing to make for his freedom. The Rusker Roma leader, initially skeptical, sees the unwavering resolve in John's eyes and agrees. This alliance is crucial, providing John with resources and a temporary safe haven, but also binding him to new obligations. It's a classic Wick move, embracing the old ways to fight the new. The low murmur of the Romani tongue and the scent of incense fill the air, creating an atmosphere of ancient traditions and unbreakable vows. Winston, now seemingly stripped of his high table protection and status, proposes a daring plan to John, challenge the Marquis de Gramont to a duel. This ancient high table tradition allows a challenger to earn their freedom by winning a sanctioned fight to the death. It's a gamble, but it's the only way John can truly escape the High Table's endless wrath. The rules are strict, and the stakes are literally life or death. Winston, ever the strategist, explains the intricate details of the challenge. The clinking of ice in their glasses is the only sound, highlighting the gravity of the decision. John, after a moment of thoughtful silence, agrees. This isn't just a fight. It's a legal loophole, a way to dismantle the system from within, or at least give it a really good try. It means John will need a sponsor, and getting one won't be easy, especially with a bounty the size of a small country on his head. The weight of this decision presses down on them. But for John, it's a chance, however slim. A genuine peace. To secure the duel, John needs the sponsorship of his adopted Rusker Roma family, specifically the head of the German branch. This is where things get tricky. John has to prove his commitment to the Rusker Roma, going through a ritual where he's marked by a hot iron, an excruciating test of his loyalty. The hiss of the branding iron and the sharp intake of breath are vivid, almost painful sounds. It's a stark visual, a permanent scar that signifies his re-entry into their world and his severing of ties to the High Table. He also has to atone for past transgressions against the family. It's not a free pass. It's a complex web of obligations and traditions. This whole sequence emphasizes the intricate rules and politics of the criminal underworld, showing that even a force of nature like John Wick isn't entirely immune to bureaucracy. It's a small victory, but a crucial one, securing the endorsement he desperately needs for the duel. The Harbinger, the official enforcer of the High Table's ancient laws, rise to formalize the duel. He explains the precise, almost ritualistic rules of the challenge. It's a fight to the death at sunrise, pistols at 30 paces, with seconds standing by. He also lays out the repercussions for any violation, which are, as expected, severe. The Marquis chooses Kane as his second, adding another layer of tragic conflict to the proceedings. The air crackles with tension as the rules are recited, each word weighted with the finality of impending death. The scratching of the pen as documents are signed sounds like a death warrant. This isn't just a gunfight. It's a sacred tradition, meticulously observed, giving the whole affair a sense of gravitas and inevitability. The entire process is a reminder that even in a world of assassins, there are rules, and these rules are enforced with deadly precision. John knows this is his one final shot at true freedom. Kane, forced to be the Marquis' champion, is clearly conflicted. He doesn't want to kill John, his old friend, but the Marquis has his daughter's life on the line. It's a classic moral dilemma, forcing a good man to do terrible things. His quiet sighs and the almost inaudible rustle of the photograph he holds highlight his internal turmoil. The Marquis, a true manipulator, knows exactly how to exploit people's weaknesses, and Kane's love for his daughter is his Achilles heel. This personal struggle makes Kane one of the film's most compelling characters. He's not a villain. He's a victim of circumstances, fighting a battle he never wanted. His loyalty is split, a painful reminder that in this world, even friendship has a price, often paid in blood. The weight of his choice is palpable, a heavy silence that speaks volumes about his despair. He's stuck between a rock and a very hard place, and both choices lead to immense pain. John makes his way to Paris, the designated location for the duel. The City of Lights, usually associated with romance, is about to become a very dangerous playground. The Marquis, feeling confident, moves to consolidate his power, putting a massive bounty on John's head, which means every assassin in Paris is suddenly very interested in our friend John. It's a race against time, as John needs to reach the duel location before sunrise, while fending off an entire city of people trying to collect their payday. The roar of his muscle car's engine echoing through ancient Parisian streets creates a sense of urgent, impending doom. This isn't just about winning the duel, it's about surviving long enough to get there. The entire city transforms into a trap, with danger lurking around every picturesque corner, each cobblestone street a potential ambush site. John is now truly the most wanted man on the planet, and Paris is his final gauntlet. As John races through Paris, he finds himself a truly epic traffic circle brawl around the Arc de Triomphe. This is a sequence that simply defies physics and probably a few traffic laws. John, driving a car, uses it as a weapon, a shield, and occasionally a very effective battering ram. He's shooting, driving, and even getting shot at while trying to navigate the madness. Kane and Mr. Nobody also join the fray, each with their own objectives, creating a three-way dance of death. The screech of tires, the rhythmic thud of bullets hitting metal, and the explosive crunch of colliding vehicles turn the iconic landmark into a scene of pure, glorious anarchy. It's a masterclass in controlled chaos, with John always somehow finding a way to escape, often leaving a trail of utterly confused and very dead assassins in his wake. It's a sequence that makes you wonder if John Wick should just get a job as a stunt coordinator, because he clearly knows how to put on a show. In one particularly brutal segment, John finds himself inside an abandoned building or perhaps a repurposed art gallery, facing off against an overwhelming number of high-table goons. This is where he busts out the legendary Dragon's Breath shotgun, which fires incendiary rounds. The entire scene is shot from a top-down perspective, creating a video game-like feel, allowing us to fully appreciate the sheer devastation John unleashes. The terrifying whoosh of the fiery projectiles, followed by the screams of his opponents, creates a horrifying symphony. It's a literal blaze of glory, with fire and bullets flying everywhere, turning the dark interior into a hellish landscape. This shotgun isn't just a weapon, it's a statement, a blazing declaration that John Wick is not to be trifled with. It's a spectacle of controlled mayhem, showcasing John's ability to adapt and overcome even the most dire situations, turning every encounter into an unforgettable ballet of violence. After the fiery showdown, John faces Chidi again, this time in a lavish Parisian apartment. This fight is incredibly brutal and personal. Chidi, a truly tenacious opponent, is determined to stop John. It's a testament to John's endurance that he can keep going after all he's been through. The rapid-fire exchange of blows, the grunts of exertion, and the shattering of ornate furniture highlight the ferocity of the encounter. He's getting battered, bruised, but he simply will not stop. He's driven by a singular purpose, a burning desire for freedom that pushes him past all physical limits. Mr. Nobody and his dog are still lurking, sometimes helping John inadvertently by attacking his attackers, sometimes just being very good at their job. It's another grueling sequence, demonstrating that even John Wick isn't invincible, but his will to survive is truly unmatched. The metallic click of a discarded weapon, the ragged breathing, all contribute to the sense of an exhausting, desperate struggle. With sunrise fast approaching, John begins his desperate race to the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, the location of the duel. The Marquis, ever the cheat, places an even higher bounty on John's head, unleashing every last assassin in Paris. The entire city seems to be against him. John is literally running on fumes, his every movement a testament to pure, unadulterated grit. The frantic chatter of the crowds, the blare of car horns, and the relentless patter of his running shoes emphasize the urgency of his quest. He's beaten, bloody, and exhausted, but he keeps moving, a lone figure against an army. It's a thrilling race against time, with danger at every turn, forcing John to use every ounce of his skill and determination to make it. This isn't just about winning. It's about reaching the starting line, a testament to his sheer will against an insurmountable tide. He knows what's at stake, and failure is simply not an option, even if his body is screaming otherwise. Then comes the infamous Sacré-Cœur stairs sequence. Oh boy, these stairs! There are approximately 222 of them, and John has to fight his way up every single one, while dozens of assassins are constantly trying to knock him down, both literally and figuratively. It's a relentless, almost comedic gauntlet, with John taking a beating and dishing it out in equal measure. The sound of his heavy, labored breathing and the rhythmic thud of bodies tumbling down the steps create a brutal soundtrack. He's sent tumbling down, only to slowly, painfully, make his way back up again, a modern-day Sisyphus pushing a boulder of pure violence. Kane and Mr. Nobody make appearances, sometimes helping, sometimes hindering, but John's focus is singular: reach the top before sunrise. This scene perfectly encapsulates John's tenacity and his refusal to ever give up, no matter how many times he gets kicked down. It's physically exhausting just to watch, a true test of endurance, and a masterpiece of action choreography, just as John is about to reach the top of the stairs. Utterly spent, Chidi, the Marquis' relentless enforcer, makes one final attempt to stop him. It's a desperate, brutal struggle, with both men completely exhausted. However, in a moment that elicited audible gasps and cheers in the cinema, Mr. Nobody's dog, in an act of pure canine heroism, intervenes. The dog, ever the loyal and effective operative, bites Chidi directly in the groin, creating a distraction that allows John to finally finish him off. The yelp of pain from Chidi and the satisfying thud of his body are incredibly cathartic. It's a truly iconic moment of dark humor and brutal efficiency, a fitting end for such a persistent antagonist. John finally collapses at the very top, having just barely made it to the duel location as the first. Rays of dawn begin to break over Paris. The exhausted, panting of John and the triumphant bark of the dog punctuate the end of this grueling climb. With mere seconds to spare, John makes it to the duel. The location is a beautiful, serene Parisian square, a stark contrast to the violence about to unfold. The Harbinger officiates, meticulously ensuring all rules are followed. John faces Kane, both men weary but determined. The duel commences. Pistols are raised, shots are fired. They take their 30 paces, turn, and fire. Both men are wounded, but John, surprisingly, misses his final shot. The Marquis, ever the arrogant villain, then steps forward, preparing to deliver the final, killing blow himself, believing John is out of bullets. The crisp crack of the pistols and the quiet groans of the wounded men fill the silent square. It's a tense, almost unbearable standoff, with the fate of John and perhaps Winston hanging in the balance. The beauty of the rising sun paints the scene in a golden, yet deadly, hue, emphasizing the solemnity of this ancient ritual. It's not just a fight, it's a moment of truth, of ultimate reckoning, but John Wick, ever the trickster, had one last bullet. He was playing the long game, using Kane to distract the Marquis, knowing the pompous villain would want to finish John himself. John, with a sudden, devastating move, pulls out a hidden pistol and shoots the Marquis de Gramont directly in the head. The loud, decisive crack of the final shot echoes through the square, a powerful exclamation mark on the Marquis' reign of terror. It's a truly satisfying moment, a testament to John's strategic brilliance and his ability to outsmart even the most powerful opponents. The Marquis, who believed he held all the cards, falls lifelessly to the ground, his arrogance finally costing him everything. With the Marquis defeated, John Wick is officially free from the High Table. The look of stunned silence on the faces of the High Table observers speaks volumes about John's cunning and determination. It's a poetic end for a man who reveled in cruelty. Brought low by the very man he sought to destroy, John Wick, finally free, walks away with Kane. He sits on the steps, watching the sunrise over Paris, a peaceful, almost serene look on his face. The long, hard road has finally come to an end. The quiet chirping of early morning birds is the only sound, a stark contrast to the cacophony of violence that preceded it. He then slowly slumps forward, seemingly succumbing to his myriad injuries. It's an ambiguous ending, leaving us to wonder if John truly dies or if he simply passes out from exhaustion. Winston and the Bowery King later visit John's grave, which is next to his wife Helen's, implying he has indeed found peace. His tombstone reads loving husband, and below it, friend. It's a poignant conclusion to his decades-long struggle, bringing him back to the very reason he started this journey: love. The gentle rustle of leaves and the soft glow of the sun on the headstones evoke a sense of finality and profound calm. It's a powerful and emotional into a legendary journey, leaving us to contemplate the price of freedom. With the marquee gone, Winston's status is restored, and the New York Continental is rebuilt, stronger and more glorious than ever. It's a phoenix rising from the ashes, symbolizing the resilience of the old guard and the triumph of tradition over ruthless ambition. Kane, finally free from the high table's grasp, goes to visit his daughter, buying flowers on the way. The quiet joy in his steps and the hopeful look on his face signify a man liberated from an unbearable burden. However, just as he's about to reunite with her, Akira, Shimazu's daughter, appears, her face set with a grim determination. She approaches Kane, a knife clutched in her hand, reminding us of John's earlier promise that she is free to seek her revenge. The sharp glint of the knife and the sudden shift in music create a chilling moment of suspense, leaving the audience to ponder the cyclical nature of violence in this world. It's a truly electrifying cliffhanger, hinting at new stories and unresolved conflicts in the Wick-verse. And there you have it, the epic, bone-shattering, and surprisingly emotional journey of John Wick, Chapter 4. It's a film that pushes the boundaries of action cinema, constantly raising the bar and reminding us that even in the darkest of worlds, a man can fight for his freedom and, ultimately, find peace. The story of John Wick teaches us about resilience, about enduring unimaginable pain for what you believe in, and about the deep, unwavering power of love and loyalty. His journey, filled with impossible odds and relentless adversaries, reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So, as the credits roll and the dust settles, we're left with a sense of awe, a pang of sadness, and perhaps a renewed appreciation for impeccably tailored suits and very, very good dogs. Thanks for watching and stay sharp out there. Then we're diving deep into the intricate, brutal, and surprisingly graceful world of Ballerina 2025. This isn't just a spin-off. It's a deep dive into the John Wick universe, showcasing a different kind of killer with a very familiar thirst for vengeance. Get ready for some serious balletic beatdowns and enough close-quarters combat to make your palms sweat. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. Our story opens not with a bang, but with a quiet, almost melancholic hum. We meet Rooney, a woman who moves with the deceptive grace of a prima ballerina, even as she disassembles and cleans a combat knife. She's living a life of carefully constructed normalcy, a fragile veneer over a past filled with shadows and the deafening echoes of violence. The apartment itself is a testament to controlled elegance, everything in its place, just like Rooney's emotions. But we know, because this is the Wick-verse, that such peace is always temporary, a brief intermission before the next act of bloodshed. This isn't a story of discovery. It's a story of rediscovery, as an old wound is ripped open, forcing her back into the very dance she thought she left behind. Just when you think Rooney might actually get a break, the universe, in its infinite cruelty, decides to yank the rug out from under her, and then light it on fire. Literally, she receives a cryptic, panicked call, the kind that makes your stomach drop faster than a bad parachute jump. Her frantic rush through winding country roads, the engine growling like a hungry beast, only builds the tension. She arrives at a scene of utter devastation, her adoptive family's farmhouse engulfed in an inferno, flames licking at the night sky like hungry, orange tongues. The crackle of burning timber, the acrid smell of smoke and death, it all hits you like a physical blow. The silence after the initial shock is deafening, punctuated only by the distant wail of sirens that arrive far too late. Amidst the ashes, she finds a charred locket, a family heirloom, and the brutal, undeniable truth sinks in. These weren't random acts of violence. This was a message delivered with extreme prejudice. Someone knew her past, knew her connection, and decided to sever it with merciless precision. This isn't just grief. It's the cold, hard realization that the sanctuary she built has been violated irrevocably. The quiet life she cultivated is now just a smoldering ruin, mirroring the farmhouse itself. The only thing left is the burning ember of rage, quickly igniting into an inferno far more dangerous than the one before her. It's safe to say, the retirement plan is officially cancelled. With her world shattered, Rooney retreats to a hidden sanctuary, a space that whispers of a past she desperately tried to bury. It's not a cozy retreat. Think more panic room meets weapons depot. The light is dim, the air heavy with unspoken memories. Here, she sheds the last vestiges of her normal life, donning the familiar, almost sacred black tactical gear. The rustle of fabric, the click of buckles, each sound a stark reminder of the ghost she's awakening. She expertly tends to a fresh gash on her arm, the needle-piercing skin with grim determination, a testament to her resilience and the sheer volume of prior injuries. There's no flinching, just a steely focus. You can almost feel the phantom ache of old scars, both physical and emotional, flaring up with every movement. This is more than just getting dressed. It's a ceremonial rebirth, a shedding of the peaceful fawade to reveal the hardened warrior beneath. She sharpens her favorite blades with a methodical shing-shing sound, each stroke a silent vow of retribution. The gleam of the metal reflects the burning resolve in her eyes. It's like watching someone switch from mild-mannered librarian to world-class assassin in a perfectly choreographed montage, only with more existential dread and considerably sharper objects. The weight of her past identity, once a burden, now feels like a shield, preparing her for the inevitable storm. She's not just a woman seeking revenge. She's a force of nature, patiently waiting to be unleashed. Our first real taste of Rooney's particular brand of justice comes swiftly, and it's not for the faint of heart. She tracks down a sniveling, low-level goon named Grigori, because of course he's named Grigori, to a dilapidated warehouse. The air hangs thick with dust and the metallic scent of rust, giving the whole place a delightfully bleak aesthetic. Grigori, bless his terrified little heart, clearly underestimated the quiet woman who just kicked in his industrial-grade door. Rooney doesn't waste time with pleasantries, or even a polite "may I have a moment of your time, good sir?" Instead, she employs what we like to call the gravity-assisted information extraction method. We see him dangling precariously by one ankle, his panic squeals echoing off the corrugated iron walls. The thwack of a hand meeting skin, not a full punch, but a precise, stinging slap, makes him yelp like a startled puppy. Rooney's voice is a low, dangerous whisper, a stark contrast to his blubbering. She moves with an unsettling grace, her steps almost silent despite the scattered debris. She's not just strong. She's efficient, a master of applying maximum pressure with minimum wasted movement. His desperate pleas for mercy are met with a cold, unyielding stare. Information is extracted with the precision of a surgeon, albeit one who prefers blunt force trauma to scalpels. By the time she's done, he's a sobbing mess, but the crucial name and location she needs are hers. Turns out, sometimes you just gotta hang out to get the full story. Armed with a fresh lead, Rooney melts into the labyrinthine alleys of a bustling night market. The scene is a riot of sensory input. The sizzle of street food, the incessant chatter of vendors, the vibrant clash of neon lights against ancient stone. The air hums with 1,000 conversations, a cacophony that would overwhelm anyone else, but Rooney navigates it with preternatural calm. She's a predator in plain sight, her movements fluid and economical, blending into the ebb and flow of the crowd like a phantom. We get a sense of her exceptional observational skills here. Her eyes dart, scanning faces, picking out the subtle tells, a nervous twitch, an unnatural swagger, the way certain individuals seem to gravitate towards each other. The faint scent of charcoal and exotic spices hangs heavy, occasionally cut by the tang of exhaust fumes. She hears snippets of hushed conversations, the distant thump-thump of bass from a nearby club. Every detail is a potential clue. She spots her target, a hulking brute with a distinctive tattoo, making a clandestine exchange. The man moves with a heavy, confident stride, oblivious to the silent hunter in his midst. It's a beautifully tense sequence, showing that not all action needs explosions and car chases. Sometimes, the most thrilling hunt is the one where the prey doesn't even know it's being stalked. It's like watching a ballet, but instead of point shoes, everyone's got deadly intentions. The trail leads Rooney to Club Nemesis, a pulsating den of bass, flashing lights, and questionable life choices. The thump-thump-thump of the music vibrates through your very bones, a relentless rhythm of impending chaos. The air is thick with the scent of sweat, cheap perfume, and expensive booze. Navigating the sea of gyrating bodies, Rooney is a study in controlled intensity. She moves with a dancer's precision, sidestepping oblivious partygoers, her eyes constantly scanning, assessing. A subtle shove here, a quiet apology there, as she pushes deeper into the club's dark heart. She spots her target, the tattooed brute from the market, holed up in a plush VIP lounge, surrounded by his equally unsavory associates. Time for a little impromptu dance number. With a sudden burst of speed, she breaches the security, the whoosh of her movement barely registered by the bass-addled bouncers. The crack of a fist connecting with a jaw sends one sprawling before he even registers her presence. The glass in the VIP door shatters with a satisfying ka-chink as she kicks it open. Inside, startled faces look up from their expensive drinks, their smug expressions quickly morphing into wide-eyed panic. This isn't a social call, after all. The music continues to blare, a perverse soundtrack to the ensuing carnage. It's a symphony of controlled aggression, a reminder that some people really shouldn't skip leg day, especially when a ballerina is coming for them. And just like that, Club Nemesis transforms into a ballet of brutality. Rooney is in her element, the thumping bass a rhythm section for her deadly performance. The tattooed brute and his cronies, far from being a challenge, become props in her deadly choreography. We see her pivot, spin, and leap with the grace of a trained dancer, but every movement is designed for maximum impact. A swift crack of a knee to a groin, a lightning-fast whip of an elbow to a temple. The sound design here is exquisite, each strike carrying a sickening weight. One particularly unfortunate bouncer gets a champagne bottle treatment, the smash of glass and liquid a surprisingly effective deterrent. She utilizes the environment, swinging around a pole with surprising strength, tripping two goons simultaneously with a velvet rope, sending them sprawling with a satisfying thud. Her fighting style is a beautiful, terrifying blend of ballet and martial arts, turning a pirouette into a devastating kick, a graceful lunge into a precise stab. The light strobe, creating a disorienting, almost surreal effect, illuminating fleeting moments of bone-crunching impact. She doesn't just fight. She dances through the chaos, her expression a mask of cold determination. The Brew himself puts up a fight, but Rooney is simply on another level. A final, incredibly painful-looking maneuver involving a table and his face leaves him incapacitated. The club is a mess, a testament to her efficiency. It's safe to say, the bouncers probably won't be asking her to join their team anytime soon, unless it's for interpretive dance with added violence. After her destructive dance party, Rooney needs a safe haven, and where else but the Continental? The serene, almost hushed atmosphere of the lobby is a stark contrast to the club's frantic energy. You can practically hear the collective sigh of relief as she steps into this neutral territory, a place where business is conducted, but blood is never spilled. The familiar, stately presence of Karen greets her. His voice is smooth, comforting balm after the brutal sounds of her recent engagement. He acknowledges her with that signature, knowing gaze, a silent understanding passing between them. He leads her to the bar, and the gentle clink of ice in a fresh glass sounds incredibly welcome. There's a gravitas in his movements, every gesture steeped in years of seeing it all. The sense of unspoken history here is palpable. He doesn't ask about her mission, only offering assistance, a quiet nod to the rules and the respect owed. It's a reminder of the intricate, fascinating ecosystem that is the high table world, where even brutal assassins adhere to a strict code of conduct. Rooney, for a moment, allows herself to breathe, the tension in her shoulders easing just slightly. It's a momentary respite, a chance to gather her thoughts and perhaps, just perhaps, enjoy a beverage that doesn't taste like desperation and regret. Karen truly is the most elegant concierge in the business, making even a killer feel like a valued guest. Winston, the man, the myth, the legend of dignified menace. Rooney finds him in his office, a bastion of old-world charm and deadly intel. His voice, measured and calm, is like a steadying hand on a volatile situation. He listens intently as Rooney lays out her fragmented leads, the flickering fire in the fireplace casting dancing shadows across the room, mirroring the shadows in her story. He doesn't offer empty platitudes. Instead, he offers insight, strategy, and a healthy dose of his signature cryptic wisdom. The rustle of paper as he consults a ledger, the soft thud of a book being closed, these small sounds punctuate the gravity of their conversation. He points to a large map, tracing a line with a silver letter opener, indicating the shifting alliances and dangerous territories she's about to venture into. The man has an answer for everything, or at least a very articulate way of saying this is going to be incredibly difficult. He reminds her of the rules, the consequences, and the high price of vengeance in their world. But his respect for her resolve is evident. He's not just a manager. He's a sort of philosophical guide for the damned. His parting words, a quiet warning about the true cost of her path, hang heavy in the air. It's a powerful scene, highlighting the layers of loyalty and betrayal that define this shadowy underworld. Rooney leads with a clearer path, but also a deeper understanding of the abyss she's staring into. Sometimes, even the best advice just confirms how utterly bonkers your life has become. With Winston's enigmatic pointers echoing in her mind, Rooney descends into the grimy underbelly of the city, seeking out the information brokers and whisper networks that operate in the true shadows. This isn't the gleaming elegance of the Continental. This is the raw, exposed wiring of the criminal underworld. The smell of damp concrete and illicit substances hangs heavy, mingling with the low murmur of desperate conversations. She navigates narrow, graffiti-laden corridors, the faint drip of water echoing in the oppressive silence. Her contact, a twitchy, secretive individual named The Bite, operates out of a forgotten data center, surrounded by obsolete servers that hum with a ghostly energy. The tap-tap-tap of fingers on ancient keyboards is a constant rhythm. The Bite, a master of digital espionage, speaks in riddles and demands a hefty price, not just in coin, but in a favor owed. Rooney's patience is tested, but her need for answers outweighs her disdain. She deciphers a complex coded message projected onto a crumbling brick wall, the symbols shifting and merging like a deadly puzzle. The information she receives is a revelation, pointing to a shadowy organization known as the Veil, an unseen hand behind many of the high table's dirty dealings. The revelation sends a chill down her spine. This isn't just about a local hit anymore. This is bigger, far more dangerous, and suddenly, her personal quest for vengeance has tangled itself into a global conspiracy. Looks like she's not just fighting henchmen anymore. She's fighting the system itself. What fun! The trail of the Veil leads Rooney to a gleaming, heavily secured corporate high-rise, a testament to their insidious reach. The building itself is a cold, imposing structure of glass and steel, a stark contrast to the organic chaos of the markets. Security is ironclad, a maze of cameras, laser grids, and silent guards. Rooney, ever the strategist, decides the front door is for amateurs. Instead, she chooses the scenic route, out the side of the building. The scene is a masterclass in tension, the wind whipping around her as she scales the sheer glass facade, finding purchase with specialized climbing gear. The metallic scrape of her tools against the steel girders is the only sound, each movement calculated, precise. The city sprawls beneath her, a glittering tapestry of lights, but her focus is singular. She breaches the rooftop, a vast, empty expanse under the moonlit sky. But she's not alone. A squad of silent, highly trained operatives, dressed in dark tactical gear, materializes from the shadows. The thud of their boots on the concrete announces their presence. A tense chase ensues, a deadly game of cat and mouse across the treacherous rooftop. Rooney leaps across dizzying gaps, her body a blur of motion, the sheer drop below a constant, silent threat. She navigates ventilation shafts, slides under massive Wick units, and uses her environment to evade and misdirect. It's like parkour, but with significantly higher stakes and the distinct possibility of becoming a very messy splat on the pavement below. The wind carries the faint ping of ricocheting bullets, a sharp counterpoint to her silent, desperate flight. She's not just escaping. She's scouting, learning their movements, their patterns. This isn't just a chase. It's reconnaissance by fire. Oh, the joys of corporate espionage, right? The rooftop chase culminates in a spectacular, glass-shattering brawl within a minimalist, ultra-modern office space. The building, designed for transparency, becomes a deadly funhouse of reflections and shattering surfaces. The crack of breaking glass is almost constant, a percussive symphony of destruction. Rooney, with her unique blend of agility and brute force, transforms the pristine environment into a combat zone. She uses the sleek, reflective surfaces to her advantage, disorienting her opponents, predicting their moves by their distorted reflections. A kick sends one unfortunate soul crashing through a floor-to-ceiling glass panel, the shrapnel scattering like deadly confetti. The whoosh of air, followed by a distant splat, reminds us of the dizzying heights. Her combat style is truly a spectacle. She performs an almost impossible spin, dodging a knife strike, then uses the momentum to deliver a devastating elbow to another assailant's throat. The sterile environment offers no hiding places, forcing her to be direct, brutal, and incredibly inventive. The sound of her boots sliding on the polished floor, combined with the desperate grunts and gasps of her attackers, creates a visceral auditory landscape. She disarms an attacker, the clang of a discarded weapon echoing sharply. The fight is a testament to her adaptability, turning the very structure of the building against her enemies. It's all very elegant, until someone's head goes through a very expensive piece of art. High art, meet high impact. Mid-brawl, we're pulled into a pivotal flashback. A vital glimpse into Rooney's formative years at the Rusker Roma. The transition is seamless. The harsh sounds of battle giving way to the rhythmic thud of ballet shoes and the stern, commanding voice of the director, a familiar, terrifying matriarchal figure. We see a young Rooney, all raw talent and unwavering discipline, performing a flawless pirouette under the director's piercing gaze. But this isn't just about dance. It's about control, precision, and transforming the body into a weapon. The sounds of rigorous training fill the air, the snap of a switch against a floor, the sharp exhale of effort, the meticulous taps of a metronome. The director, with her stern demeanor and unwavering expectations, pushes Rooney to her physical and mental limits. She teaches her the delicate art of balance and the brutal efficiency of a strike, blurring the lines between art and assassination. There's a scene where Rooney is practicing knife throws, the whiz of the blade through the air, followed by the satisfying thunk as it embeds itself in a target. The juxtaposition of the graceful ballet movements and the brutal combat training is beautifully jarring, explaining the unique elegance of Rooney's fighting style. It's a powerful reminder that her current lethal grace isn't just natural talent, it's forged in fire and relentless dedication. This isn't just backstory, it's the very foundation of who she is, a dance of death taught by the best. No wonder she's so good at hitting targets. She's been hitting the bar since she was tiny. Back in the present, Rooney, having cleared the glass house, corners her immediate target, the architect, a high-ranking member of the Veil, responsible for their insidious data and logistical operations. This isn't a brute. She's a woman of cold intellect, impeccably dressed, even amidst the chaos Rooney has wrought. The setting is a server room, a humming hive of blinking lights and whirring fans, the low drone a constant, unsettling backdrop. The architect stands amidst towering server racks, her posture defiant, a chilling smile playing on her lips. She doesn't fight with fists. She fights with words, with chilling revelations about the true scope of the Veil's power and influence, hinting at connections that run far deeper than Rooney could have imagined. Her voice is calm, almost mocking as she tries to disarm Rooney mentally. The click of Rooney's knife being drawn is the only reply. Rooney, however, is not swayed by mind games. She's learned from the best. The architect, realizing her verbal ploys are useless, reveals a hidden blade, its polished surface reflecting the server lights. A quick, brutal skirmish erupts amongst the blinking machinery. The clatter of their blades against metal a rapid, unnerving symphony. Rooney, fueled by righteous fury, overpowers her, extracting crucial information about the true leader of the Veil, a shadowy figure known only as the Maestro. It's a satisfying confrontation, not just for the action, but for peeling back another layer of this elaborate onion. Turns out, even masterminds need to watch their backs, especially when a ballerina with a grudge is involved. The path of vengeance finally leads Rooney to the Maestro's lair, and of course, it's an opera house. Because where else would a shadowy puppet master of assassins hold court but amidst the dramatic grandeur of a live performance? The building is a masterpiece of old-world opulence, all velvet, gold leaf, and hushed elegance. From a hidden balcony, Rooney surveys the scene below, a high society gala, a glittering ray of the world's elite, oblivious to the deadly drama about to unfold. The faint strains of an aria drift up, a soaring, melancholic melody that feels almost prophetic. She spots her target, the Maestro, a figure of unassuming elegance, surrounded by a phalanx of silent, watchful bodyguards. The contrast between the beauty of the music and the ugliness of her mission is striking. She moves through the back corridors, the dusty quiet of the backstage area a world away from the glamorous front. The creak of old floorboards, the whisper of her tactical gear, these sounds are amplified in the tense silence. She navigates a labyrinth of ropes, curtains, and props, her senses on high alert. This is her stage, and she's about to deliver a performance no one will ever forget. It's like Phantom of the Opera meets John Wick, only with more broken bones and considerably less singing from the protagonist. Her focus is absolute, her resolve unwavering. She's not just seeking revenge. She's making a statement, and that statement is written in blood and elegant, balletic violence. The Maestro won't know what hit him, probably because it will be a high kick to the face the moment arrives. With a swift, silent movement, Rooney cuts a rope, sending a heavy, velvet curtain swooping down, obscuring the stage. It's her personal curtain call. She descends, sliding down the material like a dark angel of vengeance, twin silenced pistols already spitting fire. The PFFT of the silence shots is unnervingly quiet, yet utterly devastating. Panic erupts amongst the gala attendees, their horrified screams cutting through the stunned silence that follows the initial shots. The sophisticated chamber music is abruptly replaced by the crack of gunfire and the sickening thud of bodies. Rooney moves with incredible speed and fluidity, her ballet training evident in every dodge and spin. She navigates the terrified crowd, using them as both shield and obstacle, never harming an innocent, always targeting her foes. The clink of spent casings on the polished marble floor is a grim accompaniment. She leaps over seats, slides across tables laden with expensive canapes, turning the grand hall into a battlefield. The security detail, though numerous, is outmatched. Their heavy-handed movements are no match for her graceful precision. A close-quarters struggle sees her disarming one guard, using his own weapon against another with a brutal thwack, the shatter of crystal chandeliers. The tier of priceless tapestries, the opulence is systematically destroyed, mirroring the crumbling facade of the Veil. It's a chaotic symphony of violence, a ballet of bullets and broken bones, orchestrated by a woman with nothing left to lose. And honestly, it's probably the most exciting opera anyone in that room will ever attend. 5 stars for production design, 0 stars for audience safety. Pushing past the main hall, Rooney plunges into the chaotic world backstage, a maze of ropes, pulleys, and intricate stage sets. Here, she faces a new breed of adversary, the Maestro's elite guard, assassins who are also highly trained dancers, echoing Rooney's own past. The thump of their soft-soled boots is almost silent, their movements eerily coordinated, like a deadly corps de ballet. This is a truly unique fight sequence. Instead of brute force, it's a terrifyingly elegant duel of precision and rhythm. The whoosh of a graceful kick, the clack of wooden props used as improvised weapons. Rooney dodges a synchronized attack, spinning away with practiced ease, her movements mirroring theirs, but with a lethal edge. She uses the environment with incredible ingenuity, swinging on a rope to deliver a flying kick, pulling down a set piece to create a diversion. The creak of old rigging, the rustle of heavy fabrics, and the sharp gasp of effort punctuate the silent, deadly dance. One particular opponent, a woman with a chillingly beautiful technique, matches Rooney move for move, their blades clashing with sharp clangs. It's a battle of styles. A brutal pas de deux where every step could be their last. The sounds of their struggle are intertwined with the distant, muffled screams from the audience. This isn't just a fight. It's a dark performance, a beautiful, horrifying display of human combat potential. Turns out, break a leg can be taken literally in this line of work. After a grueling gauntlet of backstage brawls, Rooney finally reaches the Maestro's inner sanctum. It's a hidden chamber, opulent and isolated, soundproofed from the chaos unfolding outside. The heavy thud of the hidden door closing behind her seals her into a world of velvet, dark wood, and hushed luxury, a stark contrast to the destruction she's left in her wake. The air here is still, almost unnervingly so. The Maestro sits at a grand piano, his back to her, playing a haunting, melancholic melody, the soft tinkle of the keys the only sound. He is not what Rooney expected, not a hulking brute, but a figure of refined, almost frail elegance, his movements precise, his expression unreadable. He finishes his piece, the final note hanging in the air like a delicate, deadly whisper, before slowly turning to face her. His voice is calm, cultured, utterly devoid of fear, which is frankly quite unnerving. He reveals his connection to her past, a twist that sends a fresh wave of shock and fury through Rooney. It's not just about her family. It's about a deeper, more insidious betrayal, a manipulation spanning decades. The weight of his words hangs heavy, the air growing thick with unspoken history and bitter resentment. This isn't just a confrontation. It's a revelation, and the true cost of her vengeance just got significantly higher. Turns out, the biggest monsters often wear the fanciest suits and have excellent taste in classical music. Who knew? The air crackles with unspoken history and raw fury as Rooney and the Maestro finally engage in their dance of death. This isn't a flashy, acrobatic spectacle like before. This is a brutal, grounded, and intensely personal fight. The Maestro, despite his outwardly refined appearance, moves with a surprising, almost animalistic ferocity. He uses a cane not just as support, but as a devastating weapon, each WHIP and CRACK carrying immense force. Rooney, driven by pure vengeance, meets his aggression with her own, her balletic movements now less about grace and more about raw, desperate power. The thud of bodies against expensive furniture, the clang of their weapons colliding, creates a harsh, metallic symphony. We hear the sharp gasp of breath, the strained grunt of effort from both combatants. This is a test of endurance, of will, and of skill honed over a lifetime of violence. Rooney takes hits, the painful thwack of a cane across her ribs making us wince, but she pushes through, her focus unwavering. She uses every inch of her training, every memory of her family, to fuel her attacks. A powerful leg sweep, a precisely aimed elbow, each move designed to incapacitate. The chamber, once pristine, is now a wreck, mirroring the emotional devastation playing out between them. The fight culminates in a desperate, breathless struggle, both fighters pushing past their physical limits. The screech of metal, the shatter of crystal as they crash through the lavish surroundings. It's not about victory anymore. It's about survival and the complete, utter cessation of a tyrannical influence. She finally disarms him, the clatter of his cane echoing in the suddenly silent room. One final, brutal, balletic strike, and it's over. A deep, guttural exhale escapes Rooney as she stands over him, victorious, but profoundly broken. Turns out, even a maestro can conduct his last symphony. The battle is over, the maestro silenced, and the opera house lies in ruins, a grim testament to Rooney's relentless quest. As the first rays of dawn pierce through the shattered windows, painting the devastation in hues of orange and gold, Rooney stands alone amidst the wreckage. The silence is profound, a heavy blanket after the cacophony of combat. The faint creak of settling debris, the distant wail of emergency sirens. These are the only sounds in her newfound, hollow victory. She surveys the scene, not with triumph, but with a weary resignation. The vengeance she sought has been achieved, but at what cost? The faces of her family, now truly avenged, flicker in her mind. She touches a hand to an old scar, a silent acknowledgement of the price paid. Her mission is complete, but her journey isn't. The world outside, though still dangerous, now holds a different kind of promise, or perhaps simply a different kind of uncertainty. She walks away from the destruction, each step deliberate, her silhouette stark against the rising sun. The heavy thud of her boots on the broken marble, resolute and unfaltering, marks the end of one chapter and the hesitant beginning of another. She's not just a ballerina. She's a survivor, carrying the weight of her past but stepping, however cautiously, towards a future unwritten. The John Wick universe is vast, and Rooney, our ballerina, has merely performed her opening act. What comes next, only time, and perhaps a very well-placed coin, will tell. It's a stark reminder that even after the fight, the hardest part is often figuring out what to dance to next.